Well, I just take a big steaming deuce. Brandon, Chrome Dome Omega. Hello. How are you guys? Yep, Hamster here. It is 11:24 Central Time. I gotta jump in the car and go to Polska Bobland for work. So I was thinking, can Hamster do live streams? Well, I'm gonna bring all the shit. So we'll find out. I'm not sure the hotel has the sufficient bandwidth to deal with a live stream, but we'll see. I can try it. Why not? Yeah, spend the whole week up in Chicago. Yeah, it'll be exciting. At least someone, the company's paying for it because it's really expensive. Chilling like a stone cold hamster villain. Yeah. So, OneFastDak. Brother Dak got together with, look at the big hitters here. You got Sandman, HammerHand. You got Success Pool Endeavors and Whalen, CPA. Live stream yesterday. How long did this one go? Hold on. Let me look here. It was only an hour and a half. So, unlike the Father Saunders streams, which go on for 10 days. What did you say? I didn't say a thing. Anyway, Whalen had a interesting little take on something here. And I put the link in the description. I'll share it even in the thing. Just go, listen to it for, no, no drinking. I have to drive 5-6 hours. So no. But I was thinking, when I get to Chicago, I can go get some of that cheap beer over at Mariano's. $4.99 for a 4-pack Pilsner Urkel. Yummy. So yeah, probably have one later. Maybe. We'll see. D-Man is here as well, Mr. Hemi Speed. Hemi 4-Speed, excuse me, and JR as well. All right, let's jump in. See, I'm listening to this cold, meaning I haven't heard it as of yet. So let's see here.
Definitely. Definitely. Right. Okay, sorry guys. Let's let Chris. I know you've worked hard.
I mean, look at all these woman-hating men here
preparing this for us. So please, brother, you have got the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, everybody. This came from a comment actually on one of your videos, and it's just something I try to think about female nature, male nature all the time, and even from a caveman or prehistoric evolutionary perspective, and how it's impacting us today, especially romantically in the dating world. So,
okay, sounds like EZ. This guy must be from New York or New Jersey. That's what I'm guessing. Whalen, official CPA of the manosphere. We'll be having Chris on one of these days. So he wants to come on the streamo.
I'm just going to start this is I call it an analysis, the consequences of unrestricted female nature, or how the pill and abortion on demand allowed women to live with impunity.
I mean, see, look at the hatred. Oh my God! Who hurt you, Chris? Who hurt you? It's my body, my choice. Why you evil men want to control my body? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I can make all the stupid arguments that the lefties do. Yeah.
I wanted to share my thoughts.
I mean, aren't they all? Whoa, bingo.
Some of my thoughts on prehistoric evolutionary mating strategies and how they're impacting us today, especially since the 60s. Remember, civilized society is built on laws that restrict base male nature. Mm-hmm. There are no laws to restrict base female nature. Isn't that?
Nope. That's the interesting part about the whole discussion. I mean, there are trite sayings about, you don't know how much privilege you're, blah, blah, blah. Privilege always feel oppressed when blah, 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 blah. The point is, we evolve. Believe what you want. I mean, if you believe, God came down and made us, whatever. But it took a while to get here. Regardless, it was thousands or millions of years, depending on your point of view. I don't even want to argue about it. Believe what you want to. I have better things to think about. But it took a while to get where we are. And you look at the time frame of the 18th, 19th, 20th century. It's only been a couple of 100 years, right? We went from a mostly agriculture existing, basically scratching bugs and shit out of the ground to eat. Not that many years, so it takes some time to adjust to the new paradigm, so to speak. And so the 60s, within my lifetime, okay, there were guardrails, not always effective, but there were guardrails on men and women. What the revolution did was remove the guardrails from women. Not men, though. See, and that's and so men have continued on to do what's expected of evil men. You must do this. You must be chivalrous. Sign up for the marriage contract. But women gonna do what they want, and if you don't like it, you're not a real man. And who hurt you? And you're just a pussy. And we all know the freaking story. Go ahead, Chris.
That's interesting. Prior to the pill and abortion on demand, base female nature was kept in check with agreed upon secular and religious rules.
Yep.
There were very specific societal penalties for engaging in base female cave woman behaviors. But since the 60s, women's base female cave woman nature has been allowed to run rampant without restriction or penalties.
Yeah, that's right. The consequence-free life. I did a video on that a few years ago. Consequence-free. And if you try to encroach on that, you evil man, you're trying to oppress women. Not really. Not really. Maybe you should, kind of keep it under control a little bit. Same with men. Keep it zipped up, boys. Come on now. This whole screwing everything you can get your hands. Well, of course, we all know it's a certain percentage of men that are doing that. But the point is, it's not good for society, really. I mean, obviously, look around.
We can all agree that unrestricted base evolutionary male nature would bring on the destruction of civilized society, meaning murder, assault, theft, and rape were no longer illegal. But conversely, then, wouldn't it make sense that unrestricted evolutionary female nature could do the same?
Of course not. Chris, this is where you're wrong. This is where you're evil. Women are pure as the driven snow, angels, don't you know? They would never do anything like that. So the women who do that's all made up stories. It's the evil men that are forcing them to do these pickup roaches coercing women. They'd never do that on their own. See? That kind of shit's been ingrained in humanity for a very long time, and it's hard to get that out. I mean, there are a lot of old guys, still probably conservative types, who are still hanging out that believe my little Janie would never go and do it. It had to be some man that did something to her. They still haven't come to the realization that men and women can be just as nasty to each other with respect to bumping uglies. My little Janie would never want to do that. She's pure. She's virginal. It's like, what are you? And again, as these older folks continue to go to their reward in heaven or wherever, the 72 virgins, whatever they believe in, things are eventually going to change. And perhaps we're on the first wave, the nascent. We're at the beginning of this thing. It's like, wait a minute. A lot of this crap is bullshit. Why do we keep believing this? Why do our lawmakers not understand that women also? Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, since the 60s, this worst case scenario has been playing out. Now, this next line is the most important idea in my theory. A woman's evolutionary presumption is that a committed male provider will be lost at any time, and a replacement may be needed immediately to provide for her and her children.
Yep.
Cavemen had a low life expectancy. In fact, the cave woman needed to assume that her caveman husband would not be coming back at the end of the day. This high rate of male mortality influenced women's reproductive strategies during prehistoric times very strongly. So, if we think about high caveman mortality in terms of the survival of our species, what would be the best emotional strategy for a cave woman to have?
Now, again, this took thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. See, I mean, our lifetimes are nothing, right? This is 10, 100,000, 10,000 times longer over history. These things have developed. And let's just look at Darwin for a minute, right? Those who chose wisely survived and reproduced. Do you see? Now, whether you believe in epigenetics or whatever the deal is, it got passed down in some way that if your strategy is this, you're likely to survive. I mean, there's the RK strategy. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you could talk about. Like is it the RK strategy? K is a carrying capacity. See, the R is like a rabbit. And the rabbits just have children. They're little rabbits because that's their survival strategy. So it's no big deal when one of their kids gets eaten, for example, because they just make more rabbits, where humans are a little bit different. We have to invest in our young. You know, probably all that. Anyway, go ahead.
A, would it have been better to be completely in love and deeply attached to her cave husband? Or B, would it have been better to have a very surface, unemotional relationship that could be discarded quickly without grief and without feeling trauma?
Well, interesting to think about. Never thought of it that way. Rada is here, and Snake Plissken is in the building.
Of course, the cave woman that could easily detach from her now dead caveman husband and quickly obtain another provider/protector was more likely to survive. Most importantly, her existing children were more likely to survive. So survival of the fittest means the second emotionally detached option had to rule the day to get us here. In order to further the species, cave women, once they did have a commitment from a caveman, were built to emotionally detach from that man as soon as possible and only maintain superficial affections to keep her caveman providing.
Mm-hmm. Keep the chow coming in, right? Take care of the children. And I mean, some of this is borne out in DNA and all. What is it, like 40% of all women reproduced over history, and not nearly as many men? I can't remember what the number is, but yeah. So the cave woman figured it out, thousands and thousands of years ago.
Women grieve very little when a long-term relationship is over, and men.
Let me play that back, because I've noticed this. Now, a lot of times people, you evil woman haters, oh, she's already got something lined up. Well, maybe. But I've noticed, and this, again, from experience I went out with a couple of women a couple times, right? And it's like, and I'm not saying it's necessarily malicious. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, once they're done with you, so to speak, you're not in a relationship anymore. It's over. You're gone. It's like you never existed. It's really fucking bizarre if you've ever been in that situation. It's almost like they just turn it off. It's like, don't know that guy anymore. Done. And that's happened twice. Really, really amazing. And almost shocking. To the point where it's like, is this happening? You really don't remember that special thing we did at the no? Nothing. It's just, I suppose they're superficial sort of, oh yeah, I kind of knew him, we went out a little bit kind of thing. But I mean, anything that was, of any substance that maybe a man would think is, we had that special vacation, or, we, whatever. Gone. Erased from memory. It's amazing. But go ahead.
Caveman providing. Women grieve very little when a long-term relationship is over, and men are devastated. Now, why is this? Remember, cavemen had to have the opposite emotional strategy and commitment to cave women. They needed to put their lives on the line to take care of that cave woman for as long as they lived. Cavemen had to have the deepest blind love for a cave woman to the point where he would give his life. So caveman mating strategies valued female lives above their own. Now, cave women never had to risk their lives to their cavemen. Cavemen were disposable, just as modern men are. There is no evolutionary benefit for a woman to have a deep and committed emotional love for a man at the level a man has for a woman.
I might have to kind of agree. I mean, again, we're still animals, right? And so all this talk about Darwin and lizard brain, this stuff has been embedded in us for millions of years, right? And if there was a path that made sense, whether, women, you sat down at the cave fire and said, you know what, we got to come up with a different strategy. I think it was just kind of, that's the way it worked. The ones that had a particular strategy are the ones who got to reproduce and survive and have their children reproduce, right? That's why we're here. The ones that did different stuff, maybe fell deeply in love with the caveman and he went out and some buffalo, killed him. If she didn't have that mechanism in place, how was she going to eat? She might not, right? Or she'd have to find some maybe second or third tier kind of loser to take care of the kids. And how, in nature can be cruel, such as in lions, when the lion comes in and if she has babies from another lion, well, it's not a good day for them. Right? Because he doesn't want to deal with that. Nature's cruel. So why would nature be any less cruel back in the days when we were cavemen? You see what I'm saying? Okay, go on.
cave women never valued a caveman's lives above hers. So now it is even more understandable why women start 80% of divorces. From the moment they have locked down a good provider, they are biologically wired to begin to look for provider alternates, or as we like to call them sometimes, orbiters, while men are wired to provide blindly for that woman, even if it kills them. Cavemen's focus always stayed on providing for the mother, who then tended to the children. This was a standard top-down hierarchy with distinct separation of duties and directed loyalties.
And maybe that's partially true why it's way different when women break up with men. When men are devastated. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been there, right? You just like, especially like in a divorce situation, at least in my case, and maybe a lot of guys, you had no idea. I mean, you may have thought things were a little rocky, maybe it wasn't going as good as it can, but you still cared about her, you still loved her, you'll work it out somehow, and then boom, she becomes the person you didn't know. You didn't know such a person existed in this little woman that you loved. You get in front of a divorce judge, it's like, where the fuck did this come from? It's almost unbelievable. And I know some of you guys have been divorced and all. It's just like, oh my God. How in the world did she keep this hidden? So awful and mean and nasty. Where the hell? It's almost like they replaced her with like a body double. It's just really weird. And really frightening, and it kills you as a guy. It's like, what is?
So when a woman ends a long-term relationship, she has long since lost deep and intense love for reasons I already described. But a man rarely loses that deep, unselfish commitment.
Nope.
So where does this leave us? Well, hopefully armed with a deeper understanding. I believe with education, the base female cave woman nature can be curbed, just as male nature has been curbed for eons. We have laws to suppress base caveman behaviors, but that can't be used to curb base female cave woman behaviors. But unless they're curbed as they were before 1960, society's decline will continue exponentially.
I can't disagree. But I see when you say curb, though, Chris, when you say maybe a few restrictions, that's oppression. See, it's interpreted immediately as you want to hold women down. Well, in some ways, not down, but maybe just in the freaking guardrails a little bit. You know, just maybe kind of keep between the lines. Just don't go freaking way off in the weeds. That doesn't seem to be the case. But of course, we all know this was kind of a plan. Call it the communist, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, this is not accidental. Chris, got pizza. Do you? Hey, SCE, good stream. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I saw you were there, and I'm sure it was good just because you were there. Twerkzilla. Yeah. Chris Mitchell here, the Emperor of Canada, who always good to see you. Man going his own way. What it be like? I don't know. How's it going? I don't know what to say. But the whole thing is in the link if you want to go ahead and look at I would recommend it. Because I haven't heard what Sandman or SCE or Hammer had to say or Dak. So looks like a heavy hitter stream. So if you want to go check that out, I think I would. I just wanted to play this commercial before I go. Did you see this one? I'm not even sure it's still on. Arizona candidate. Gun commercial. Yes. Have you seen this one? Oh, they're calling him the GOP lunatic. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can find the real. Did they take it down? It's hard to say. I mean, it was obvious what the intention of the commercial was. All right, we'll go to the Young Turks. We'll see what the hell they have to say about it. Republican glorifies gun violence in tone-deaf campaign ad. Oh, that's a different ad. I was talking about this one. Let's go here. All right.
Americans are struggling, and in D.C., politicians do nothing. They're failing to get the job done. Fed up? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
It's time for a fighter like Eric Schmidt.
Okay.
Biden's green energy policy punishing us.
Sure. Yeah.
Democrats like to say that no one needs.
Whoa, that's a little hot. Let me turn that down. Okay. So this man is running for Congress in Arizona. And he's I know, the second most hated people in the country by the lefties. Number one would be pro-life women, conservative pro-life, even Democratic pro-life women. I think that the actress, what the heck was her name? She was on Ray Romano's show. She's kind of she's a very good actress. But she is a pro-life Democrat. Of course, by now, she's probably like, I don't think so. I'm not going to vote for these guys anymore. But the second most hated are African-American or people of color who are Republican or conservative in any way. They cannot deal with that. They're supposed to be on the Democrat plantation. And I use that word specifically. So let's see.
Needs an AR-15 for self-defense. That no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods.
That's probably really what got him fired up. Did you hear the words there?
Family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods. You just might need that semi-automatic and all 30 rounds.
Oh, my goodness.
That's Jerome Davison, who
hello, Anna. How are you? Are you going to freak out again today?
is running for Congress in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
And if you had to do a little bit of a double take there because he was accusing Democrats of being the ones of wearing those hoods and sowing all the terror in the country.
Wasn't it the Democrats who got together and made the KKK? I don't know that for sure. I don't know. But at least I've heard that. It might have been the who knows? But I thought it was the Republican Party that wanted to, free the enslaved. Crazy.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He is making the claim that it's not the right wing that's spouting white replacement conspiracy theories.
Oh, you mean the Democrats who actually say the same thing? That they actually come out and say yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That it's
crazy Republicans. Got it.
The Democratic Party putting on the
Nazis, of course,
hoods to terrorize black people in this country.
Well, there was certainly some of that back in the day, yes. And I heard, and I don't know this for sure, again, I'm not real up to date, but I heard, and it might be wrong, but my understanding is that some gun control laws were put into effect to keep freed black slaves, former slaves, from getting weaponry. Now, I might be wrong there. I don't know. I don't have the research in front of me. So,
and he claims we need the assault weapons. We need the assault weapons to what? To murder Democrats?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You remember that? Was it Sarah Palin or whoever ran and they had the target, and then the poor woman in Arizona got shot by this crazy person. Remember that? Gabby Giffords or something like that? Well, obviously the Republicans want to go hunt down Democrats. What the? Okay, Anna, sure.
Yeah.
Based on the false premise that they are part of the Klan?
No, they were. They were. I believe what the man is trying to say is that we need guns because at one time in the past, the only way for a black man to protect his family was to be armed because of the KKK. You like to go back in history all the time about how women's were oppressed in the 1700s, Anna. Well, black people were oppressed for at least 100 years after the Civil War, after they were free. And all the nonsense, Jim Crow, etc. The freaking white people blew up Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. All of the crazy shit that happened, lynchings and all that stuff. Yes, Black people were treated like shit. And in some cases, they still are. The man is saying, in history, the only way to protect against the KKK coming to take your family was to have a gun. I mean, do we have to make it more deep than that? No. He wants to go hunt Democrats. Jesus Christ.
What is this?
Why don't you open your freaking eyes, Anna? Come on now. You're not this stupid. You're not this stupid. Come on, Anna. You're smarter than this.
I think is actually the part that bothers me least about this.
Okay.
I mean, it's deranged. Like, it's ahistoric, and he knows that, yeah, back in the day, if you were to go back 100 years ago, members of the Klan probably would be Democrats.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Who is this guy? I don't know who he is. This is some dude.
And if they were alive today, they wouldn't be Democrats. I mean,
so what you're saying is any KKK member today is, of course, a Republican, right?
Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't claim that the Democrats are just constantly like virtue signaling to non-white Americans and giving them things. And also simultaneously, they're the actual KKK. Or maybe you can, I don't know. A lot of Republicans probably like imagining that everyone is as racist as they are.
Citation needed.
So who the hell knows? But that is the part that bothers me the least. The fantasy that is conjured up there bothers me so much more. It's like I've talked about.
Well, I mean, at least this idiot has agreed and admitted that back in the day, in the 1870s, 1880s, if you were a freed slave, there were people that wanted to get you. And the way to protect, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, whoever was wearing the hood, was to have a firearm to protect your family. This man is just saying that's why you might need 30 rounds. What if? And he's not saying this is what's going to happen. He's saying that in the past it did. You stupid fuck.
Multiple times on the show about how ridiculous it is that these people think that they're going to have to defend their house from a roving band of marauders. KKK or otherwise.
Okay. So let's think about this for a minute. You just basically said Republicans are KKK, okay? And I don't know if you said it in particular, but the general theme on the left side is there are millions of KKK members who want to, white supremacists or whatever. What do you think if there were millions of these people and they don't believe whatever about black people, that they shouldn't be here or something? Do you think it's possible there might be marauding bands of these people trying to get, I'm not saying it's happening. Not saying that. I'm just saying that if that is the case and Republicans are all wearing hoods, I'd be kind of afraid too if I were a person of color in the United States. Fortunately, there are about 6,000 KKK members in the United States, so it's not a big deal. But you're right in one way. There aren't going to be roving bands of crazy KKK hood-wearing people because there aren't enough to make a roving band. You should be happy about that. But of course, we're not.
You think that deranged 16-year-olds should be able to buy AR-15s if that's a necessary consequence of you being able to gun down a horde of KKK members as they...
I'm pretty sure that a 16-year-old can't buy a well, maybe they can. I don't know. Certainly they can't buy a handgun, right? That's 18. I don't know. Maybe it should be 18 for long rifle. I don't know. I'm not sure what the laws are, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Storm with lawn equipment across your yard. That's what you think?
I mean, you just need to ask these people. Oh, all right. So you think 30 rounds is too much? Would 10 rounds be okay? No. Would 5 rounds be okay? No. Would 1 round be okay? No. 0 rounds, you evil Republicans. We all know what's going on. Yeah. Santa Claus, Brandon Trueblood is here as well. What did he say? I remember 2020. Oh, yeah. The peaceful summer of love. That was, you got it. Like a mob of people that are crazy hungry coming to you and your family because the woke mob told, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Jimbo says, project much. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit of that. Or are you saying me? Maybe. I don't know. Digital documentarian. If you defend your house from roaming marauders, the cops will come by and take your weapons, leaving you a target for your enemies. Certainly could be the case. Don't worry, though. Canada's safe now because Trudeau said you can't buy any handguns, apparently. Right, Emperor? No more problems in Canada. Never let a crisis go to waste. Never. All right, should we do one more? Yeah, why not? I thought of one and now I can't think of it. Oh, Sarah Palin is running for something. The absolute most hated female in the entire country. Yeah, we need more women in power, just not her because she's stupid and she sees Alaska from her. So here's a Super Bowl Adam. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, this Carrie Lake lady running for governor. She's sharp. I'm telling you. She's a great candidate. And, of course, they hate her because why? She's a conservative. We need more women in power, except those women. They're evil. Lake and Robson. Let's go look at this one. Let's see. Yeah. Go ahead.
The Republican primary for governors grabbed national attention. The two frontrunners have positioned themselves less like the current governor, Doug Ducey, and more like former President Donald Trump. Our political editor, Dennis Welch, is live with a closer look at that race. Dennis?
Yeah, and there are 4 candidates left in this GOP primary for governor, but realistically, this is a 2-woman race. One has a very...
Wait a minute. Whoa. I thought Arizona were a bunch of misogynist, women-hating scumbags. 2 women in the Republican Party running for governor. My goodness.
Big endorsement. And
do not let your lying eyes deceive you. This is not true.
It's a very familiar face. The other is more typical political background and a big bank account.
Oh. I am a proud conservative and an unapologetic Trump Republican.
All right.
From the start, Carrie Lake has aggressively run a pro-Trump America First campaign.
You're going to do kind of a hit piece or try to be derogatory, which is so typical of where the media goes.
The former news anchor attacked the media, matched the former president's rhetoric on border issues, and pushed Trump's false claims that the 2020 election was stolen.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say that, YouTube, Susan. That was the news report.
From him.
I'd actually like to ask everybody on this stage if they would agree we had a corrupt, stolen election. Raise your hand.
Lake's devotion to the 45th president and his agenda paid off with his endorsement. But that doesn't mean there are big differences between Lake and her main rival.
I'm a strong supporter of President Trump, and I raised over $1 million to support his elections.
So now she's jumping on the Trump band. Oh, my God. Okay.
And I will always defend his record.
Like Lake, Karen Taylor Robeson started her campaign by highlighting her support of Trump.
How is it even possible that these Republican evil people in Arizona are nominating women? Just where's the patriarchy? Oh my God!
Candidate promises to secure the border, promises to defend gun rights, and rails against cancel culture and even the media. But they differ in 2 big ways.
Well, I will go back to what I have always said, and I will continue to say that I don't believe the election was fair.
Taylor Robeson has not clearly said if she thinks the 2020 election in Arizona was rigged or
I didn't say that, Susan.
Corrupt. Meanwhile, Lake has made unproven claims of election fraud the cornerstone of her campaign.
Hi, I'm Carrie Lake.
Lake is new to politics, but is a familiar face. She spent 2 decades on local news, and the name recognition has paid off, catapulting her into the lead of this pivotal race. Unlike Lake, Taylor Robeson has taken a more traditional path to public service. She briefly held a position in the Reagan White House, graduated from law school, started her own company, and eventually won an appointment to the Arizona Board of Regents. She also helped raise big money for Republican candidates like Doug Ducey.
We need a strong conservative governor who will fight back. That's why I'm supporting Karen Taylor Robeson.
Other than the Trump endorsement of Lake, the biggest moment so far, former Congressman Matt Salmon's decision to drop out and endorse Taylor Robeson.
Wow. So the evil man got out of the race. Well, I was in Arizona, by the way. It was Ducey.
For
was
most of the
governor.
campaign, Lake has held a commanding
And that's when Sinema ran, by the way.
lead, but in recent months,
Another female that the Democrats freaking hate, even though she's a Democrat herself. Senator Sinema from Arizona. Keep your eyes on her. See, she's more of a McCain Democrat. I mean, you might not like McCain, but she, as far as I can tell, is not some crazy left-wing lunatic. Anyway.
Taylor Robeson has
I mean, you really can't be in Arizona. Arizona is actually pretty conservative. Yeah.
closed the gap in the polls, thanks in large part to the millions she spent to run nonstop TV ads.
Oh, God. And you know it's the political season when it's constant. Oh, my God. 2 women, however, running for the Republican governor nomination in Arizona. I wonder who's on the Democrat side. Is it an evil man of some sort? Or maybe it could be a non-binary fairy tale. It's just... Oh, God. But I mean, you Republicans, you don't vote for women. You hate them, don't you? No. Tits and hips, bird's eye for the win. All right. Doug Dookie. I remember the Deuce. I remember when, like I said, Sinema ran against, what's her face? She was, I don't know, Air Force general or something. That was a few years ago. Because what was it, 17 I was there, maybe 18? I don't know, I can't remember. But Sinema's actually doing, she's the one holding up the filibuster. And, the Democrats hate her. They hate her. Yeah. Fair Use Act. I know. Well, it's just that I don't know if YouTube is backed off on talking about those particular topics. I think you all remember there was a note that came out to people who do YouTube videos. I think it was January of 2021. If you even mention this, your channel shall be deleted. So everybody stop talking about it. Know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it. But I mean, it's way in the past anyway. Arizona, pull off your rainbow shades. There you go. All right. Well, let's see. It's 12 o'clock. So I got to jump in the car, go to Chicago. You guys have a great Sunday. I will probably talk to you later today. We'll see. Maybe we'll do something tonight. All right.